how the world works.
We just knew some Vaughns when we were in Texas, and their son did mission work
How fun.
in Belize, right? Wasn't it Belize after?
Yeah, it must be a different group. It's a more common name than you think.
Yeah.
You know, most people can't say it, Vaughn or something when they see it, but then they start thinking about, Vince Vaughn, Vaughn. Yeah, Vince Vaughn. There's a lot of Vaughn, but people just don't seem to remember.
Tried to limit. I like.
You guys want to agree?
Sure. Yep. I gotta watch my weight.
So your few all at your church, those are really good friends of ours. John and I, and then Bill and Leslie, we all raised our kids together. Yeah. I remember them saying that they did something, but I don't know.
My youngest son wore a medium-sized shirt or a large, and I just made that shirt. I had to make it.
We're with them.
All right, you guys ready to take your paper?
Are we just going and starting?
I brought you up here just to get you started.
Okay.
So wherever you want to
My
go,
group is.
unless you want to do something different.
The Scott and Rich, huh?
Has that worked okay,
Yeah,
what we're doing?
it's been great.
Okay, let's do it one more time. Finish strong.
All right.
All right, Joseph, you guys take that down to your group.
Do you want us to move back? Yeah, pull back. Left.
Give these guys 3 pieces.
They're high achievers. I'm gonna charge them by the page. Oh, this is a big one. Yeah, this will be more than 3.
We should move to the other side so they have the whole wall.
You guys remember the goal, right? Yes. Okay.
Bobby Dawn, this song is
I put your thumbtacks over here if you find them. Okay. There's a couple more if you need them. Oh, you got it.
sorry. Poor guys. Thank you. Oh, are you sad? You wet. I'm so wet. Do you want me to sign? Do you want to? Your handwriting is good, though.
Jules, they're right there or on this pew. Yeah, or there's some, I think there's one I was using is at the end. Somebody grabbed it.
Shall I use this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So our goal is the 200 members, 50, 20 to 30-year-olds, and 40 teens and younger. So we're doing the how. Okay. Well, it's all so what you guys put like goal. Sure. Yeah. Somebody who's goal 200 numbers. And then the breakdown is 50, 20, 30
beans or not. What happened? She told me it's fun. But I just share it with them. Cause they just said, cause one of the one, they just merged those three together. Cause it was 200 members. Then it was saying, you know, cause some, we had the 50 for 20 to 30 year olds. And then we have the other, so they merged that all together. Because it's members. Like Wesley? Yeah. Nobody?
So, but if we had a lot of people here,
But look at Apple, it's
Well, anyway,
growing.
back to
All
the
the new houses and new homes that are
But
being
they
built
also,
up
they
there.
built that big mega church too. Yeah, it's huge,
Up in
yeah.
Apple.
And I know, and that's the thing, you know, them, there's another big church, there's, you know, they cater to young people, you know, they have the youth ministers and, you know, big youth groups.
I know. That's kind of what I'm thinking,
It,
like
well,
to
it is
track.
interesting.
It might not
They
prohibit
want
or
people
we
to
do
listen.
like we should be focused on finding people that care about the truth
Yeah.
and studying. And that might be not a lot of people, you know, in the younger generation. Maybe.
That would be a tough one to compete against, you know.
Because I feel like it's different if you're young with a family. That's something else. I don't really know anything
Yeah.
to reach out to them on top of that. This is our schedule, you know.
I messed with that.
I mean, it's something to mention, I love the idea of doing like, you know, a Thanksgiving meal for, you know, and I'd be happy to do, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
We have a
whatever
really
we
small
gave, I think.
Thanksgiving at home. And I cook for a living, I think I would be happy to, you know, do that. Yeah.
Maybe so special. Yeah, to do a Thanksgiving meal, you know. Yeah, I enjoy that too, 'cause I don't have, there's people that don't have
Okay, we're going to start getting back together. Please.
What was the $200?
Well, he put 20,000 members.
20,000.
He put little 2 zeros.
Scoot you over just a little. You're on. All right. Which group hasn't had a chance to go first? Does anybody? You haven't gone first? Okay. All right, you guys ready?
He's not here yet.
Oh.
Where?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I keep looking on.
All right. Let's finish strong here.
All right. Okay, so this one is about growing our membership to 200. And we thought that we did like the idea of the Troop Trail Life and American Heritage for Girls to have a place for them to start their community, and life skills that they can develop and everything. So that was one of the main things that we thought would be a good introduction, because you got you can bring in the younger kids, the teens, and their families and parents and stuff will start getting involved with it as well. We had another idea of setting tables around town for prayer, to see if people need prayer or want Bible studies, like at the library or just different locations, bus stop, just have it kind of be manned and see if people need any outreach that way. Add services times to the sign, so on the front sign, so people know when they're driving by, they'll see when our services are. Improve our online presence with our services and stuff when it's out there. Come up with ideas to make it more inviting for people wanting to have access to that and all that stuff. Encourage folks in the congregation to foster kids, so like foster families and reaching out that way to the community. Develop a way to track, monitor. So when we get new visitors that come in, someone comes up and asks them, hey, would you like to go out to lunch? And start monitoring have a little progressions thing, like, okay, take them out to lunch, invite them to the house, do a Bible study, and just kind of have a progression for potential new members and stuff like that.
Make sure we don't miss an opportunity, right?
Yes. Pay for some before the movie ads. So when you go out to the movie theater, you see local businesses and stuff, they have that little 15 or 20-second clip on there. Just put something out about, how our community comes together, like when people came up and helped us with the trees, or working on Marty and Kim's house, and we had showed that our family community at the church, how we all just kind of are there for each other. Because there's a lot of people out there that are craving something like that because they feel left out or just alone. They don't feel like they can lean on anybody for assistance. Train disciples to make disciples, following Jesus and Paul's pattern. Just like we discussed earlier, you can talk all you want, but you have to know. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what we got.
Hey, good job. All right, who's next? Somebody jump up and get whoever's next. Did you guys name a goal owner or suggest?
We did.
Yep.
Who is it?
Marty.
Marty. All right. That's one. Seems like there's going to be a theme.
So for our goal owner, we picked Marty, Tom, and Jesse. For our actions, to be known in the community through pregnancy centers, homeschool, substance abuse, grief sharing, women in difficult situations, service projects, farmers market booths. I know Ponderosa Days was mentioned. Our other action is social media presence. A lot of youth and a lot of older folks are getting a lot of their information from TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So to be a better presence here. Youth programs, Trailblazers, American Heritage. Discipleship programs, friendship, evangelism. Neighborhood campaigns like Lost in the 50s, 4th of July parades. Facilities, we figure that obviously with this growth, we're gonna need facilities because of the parking, classrooms, and seating, and nursery. Jesse had a good one with neighborhood barbecues, inviting people in the neighborhood and also members of the church. In-home Bible studies, and then friends and family days on Sundays.
Excellent. Good job. All right. Who's next? Jump up. Somebody present, please. Somebody present.
Go, Angela.
Yay.
So public speaking, not my thing.
You just did it.
So, I mean, social media, I think that's really, really important and not being Marty and Julie, because that's their forte. I think they'd be great at it, but social media, it's really important. That's how you're gonna reach out the most to most people, especially younger generations. If there's a need for it, we grow, have young adults, hiring an assistant minister with a spouse in that age range, to focus on the young adults. And then, possibly open the building for community outreach stuff, but then, also have to consider the insurance and liability and, all that, and involving ourselves more in the community and getting our name out there, and, yeah.
Yay. All right. Good job. Okay. And who's next? Last group.
I don't need that. Sorry. I'm always told I need to be quiet, so. So we picked, Marty and Julie also, they're already kind of doing that and doing a good job of that. So we picked, men, women, children, young adults, so that we have a place to plug people into. Or we brought up, so we have, you know, some bragging we can do. Hey, well, we'd love to have you come here. We have a great, you know, whatever. So, which we do have good. Anyways, a booth in the markets and the fairs, I heard that come up. Just a good way to introduce ourselves to our community. A welcome resource packet. They talked about having a pen or something that, you know, we can give them so that they would use over and over that has our name on it. And in that, we talked about having host families. And maybe that card is something that could be rotated in those packets. So, you know, this would be our hosts for meals or whatever. And then meeting the needs of the community, offering some classes like Dave Ramsey classes to help teach money skills. We could offer that to the whole community and have people come in, and that's something that we would all benefit from as well. And then doing like a freezer meals or cooking class, doing something that you can offer to moms that, you know, or even single dads, whatever, that are in that position so that they can get some good ideas for that. And I think that's all today.
Yay! Good job. All right, so you guys have done really well. These are a lot of great ideas. Just to start with, it seems like there's a center of gravity with Marty and Julie being the goal owners and Tom and Jesse part of the team. Does that feel okay? Everybody good? Marty, Julie? Okay, everybody good? Yay! All right, we got a final goal owner. I feel like I'm running a game show or something, but anyway. All right, several items you've hit here. If you'd like, Lisa and I could share what we've seen as some best practices in some of this, if you'd like. Most of the congregations we've worked with have hit on what you've talked about we're not really taking care of our visitors that great, you know, and just about, in fact, all the places. And they've really dedicated their time into thinking about if they get somebody in their building, and they've gone from saying we randomly interact with our visitors to creating a total guest experience. And the ones that have done it well have created a guest experience team, a subset of this kind of a team. And that guest experience team has somebody that knows they're on call to meet people at the parking lot, and then get them routed to somebody that's about their same age to interact with, who might then hand them off to somebody else. And as we've talked to people that have had this experience, and they've really gone from like, excuse me, excuse me, they've gone from like 5% of the people staying with the church to like 70 and 80. And what they've been able to do is they've asked these visitors, or now guests, I prefer the term guest, but it's up to you. They say, didn't this all feel contrived, this person meeting you and handing you off? And they say, absolutely, but they cared so much about us, it made it feel special. Okay? So think about that. Can you create a total guest experience? Is that something that's important for you as you do this team? You've got to decide what you want to put your energy, but there's a lot of that about visitors or guests in your comments. One other thing I'll tell you is, we're still, most of us still passing out these little cards. Will you please fill out my visitor card? And that's so 1950s, right? And I'm stuck in the 60s, okay? So I mean this with all sincerity, but the last handful and Lisa and I aren't at our home church a lot, but the last two kind of visitor couples we had come, we said, talk to them. Do you have a support network? And they didn't. Well, we could be your support network. We travel a lot, but if you have car trouble or something, we can find you somebody at this congregation to help you. Will you go out to lunch with us that afternoon? So part of that guest experience team somebody has to take them to lunch that afternoon, at least offer that week to have them. And you guys hit on some of that. Get them in your home, work your way through to become their members. But you got an iPhone, right?
I do.
If I touch his iPhone, I can get his contact info, right? Yeah, it shares it. I just got it. That's all you have to do. And if you're telling them you're there to be their support network, then they may want to share it with you. This idea of these little cards and stuff, just people aren't going to fill them out. You got to find some way to capture people's contact info. And any kind of event you have. I want to reinforce this idea about these life skill. I would just broaden this to life skills. We've been with a couple of congregations now that their parenting class is so good. All the neighbors come to the parenting class. They don't stay for worship, but they come for the Bible study for the parenting class. And then, I think there are, over time, some are staying, and they'll probably convert some people. But you know what? We're equipping the world to think about parenting in a Christian way. If your classes are that good, whether it's, financial parenting, you will change this community for the better, whether they become members or not. I think you will get your fair share of members. So I want to reinforce this kind of thing. And of course, the hospitality is part of the guest experience. All these are. This business card thing. Lisa and I created these little business cards. They say, "Be our guest," and it wasn't our idea. We heard it from another congregation. Be our guest. We have our home church, and then on the back you have the service times and stuff. And as we're out to dinner or in the community, we just talk. How are you doing? Anything we could pray for with you or for you? And I'll talk a little bit about.
We have some of those in the back.
Yeah, great. Are people using them? But that. Here's your chance to use them. Be our guest. Obviously, you guys are way better and know what the value of the social media stuff is.
Well, once the social media is established too, on those business cards, you have QR codes to the social media accounts.
Exactly. Well said.
And right there onto it.
Yeah, that's in all these. That's in all these thoughts. Maybe before the last thing, and of course you guys can decide where you want to put your energy. The last thing I want to highlight is: do people around your building know you're here? Maybe. Most of the congregations we've been with, I'd say no. For some reason, we as humans can drive by a building and not really think about that being a church or whatever. A lot of places have defeated that by one place, a very similar setup to you, they do coffee and a prayer. People are leaving to work in the morning. Somebody's out there with coffee, and they've got a little card. Hey, is there something we could pray for? And most of them will fill it out and put it in. They'll stop and get a cup of coffee. They know you're here now. There's a lot of ways to get people's attention. Lisa and I have done a lot of going door to door. In Costa Rica, it's a whole lot easier than the U.S. But even in the U.S., we've had mixed success, but at least some success, I would say. And we've done it both in Cleveland and our area in our Tennessee home. And we believe the right way to do it is to go to the homes right around your building and say, hey, we're your neighbors. We're at this church here. We just want you to know we're here. If there's anything we could pray for you, we're here for you. That's it. You've at least planted the seed. Lately, we've been taking cookies. Hey, look, we're your neighbors. We just want to remind you we're here. We're not looking for anything from you. We just want to give you some cookies and let you know we're here. We did sweet rolls in Costa Rica, and it was very well received because something about them, they thought anybody coming door to door, they were wanting something. If you were coming from a religious organization, you're ultimately wanting some of their money. So anyway, anything you can do to just be in a non-threatening, look, we're here. We're just your neighbor. We just want you to know we're here. We're here for you if you need anything. And then you'd be surprised if you engage with people, they may blah things they really need. So you need to be prepared to help meet that need. Okay? All right, is that too much stuff? That's using the neighborhood stuff. And I want to talk tomorrow about how we, if you'll come to the Bible study class, I'm going to talk about how I believe we make disciples. And I want to arm you with I believe. And the punchline, just so you all know, leave you a preview, it's all about learning to ask questions. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but my whole facilitation of this workshop has been asking you questions, right? How would you do this? How would you do that? We'll interact with our community and listen and ask questions. And I'll even role play with you tomorrow at the Bible study class, if you will, some, on how we can engage with our community through asking questions. This Friends and Family Day is a great reason to go to your neighborhood. Hey, we're your neighbor, and we're just having a special open house, or we're going to cook hot dogs one day, or, we just want you to know we're having a Friends Day, that there's going to be a bunch of visitors like you at our congregation this Sunday. Please come. We're having a financial peace university. We just want to make sure you know. So, okay, I've hit that pretty hard. Any other comments or questions? All right, now's my favorite part, is where we actually organize ourselves into these 3 goal teams. And you've got the papers. I'll give Marty, Julie. Now, let me just see, how many people are going to go to the first goal that we worked on this morning, which was the growing spiritually? If we set up a meeting, and who all's going to go to that? No, there's one meeting. We're going to spend an hour. And yeah, okay, so thank you. All right, so here's what we've done. We started with the workshop is trying to help you achieve your vision. Be a Christ-like family, Christ-led leadership. You've got goals that you've all said will help you achieve that vision. Do we still feel that way? Okay. As you've figured out what you might do to achieve those goals that are going to help you achieve your vision, we've named goal owners. And as we've named those goal owners, there's a lot of good ideas have come up. Now, you can't do them all, right? So you want to focus. And so what we want to do now is we don't want this to be a one-time workshop and then you forget about what you did. We want to start to learn how to have meetings to accomplish things. So we want to have each of the 3 goal teams start to meet. And as the goal leaders are expected to organize that meeting and and I'll role play that in a minute with you if you want. But what we're wanting to do is have you organize this meeting where about 1/3 of you go to each one. Now, it's okay if one's got a few more or less, but the idea is there's 3 important goals. You need to kind of split up and help work on those 3 goals. And it needs to be the ones you're most passionate about. And something, you're going to actually do some work. You're going to actually volunteer and do something. Now, a lot of you are probably saying right now, I'm already really busy with my life. I got a lot of things going on. And that's true. What I'm asking for in these goal teams to accomplish this, it's not extra work. It's just how you live. We're trying to transform yourself from, you're doing a lot of other busy, good things. We're trying to get you to help focus on these 3 goals. Because they said these are the most important, or 4, counting the elders, but these are the goals that are going to help us achieve our vision. So in this meeting, I hope you'll split up and you'll have some passion and you'll go in the meeting and say, look, I really believe in this life skill things. I'll take charge of setting up the Dave Ramsey course. And then Marty and Julie say, well, how long do you think it'll take you? When could you do your first class? And you'd say, January 1st, or whatever. And then you've made a commitment. What you're going to do, you're going to do the Dave Ramsey course. I'll be responsible for it, and I'm going to get it done by January. And you keep track of this. And this will be your first meeting of many, I hope. And at the end of your meeting, I hope you schedule your next meeting. And during your meeting, I'm hoping you ask, who else that's not here today could we get drawn into this? And then you'll agree to somehow recruit them to your team. I would love it if tomorrow morning, when I come in here, you guys are all fighting over the other people that weren't here to get them on your team. Okay? Do you have a question? Or?
That was it.
Oh, yeah. Because what the goal of this, remember the evil spirit parable? Everybody has to be involved in something. Have to fill our house with good. Get everybody involved. And you want to explain to them, this isn't more work. This is how we live. when I see a visitor, I'm going to consider them a guest, and I'm going to grab them and make them part of our church family. It may feel like more work at the start, but eventually it'll feel like that's just how I am. That's just how I live. Okay, so are you willing to do this 3 meetings for me at the same time? And if you've got passion about a couple of them, great. But we really need you to focus on one team today and go and support that goal leader. Now, the goal leader, did I model that enough? You know, you're really just wanting to ask, who's got passion about one of these particular topics? I hope you lay these things out on a table up here or downstairs or on the wall for each of your teams, and you see, where's their passion? Who's going to volunteer? Do you see the difference in this workshop and the vision workshop where you just say smart things? Somebody's got to actually do something. Yeah.
So obviously there's different parts to different goals. Could you be in multiple teams?
Maybe, but not today. Today we're going to practice getting behind one of these goals, and you put your effort into one of those goals.
For example,
Yeah, of course.
there was one woman who liked to write notes. So she was the one who, if she had the visitor's name, she would write a personal note to the visitor. So she was on that team, but that didn't mean she couldn't be on the other team for different things.
Yeah.
Some of these things that you agree to do are going to be small, like I'll set up Dave Ramsey, I'll set the time, I'll make sure the building's clean, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That could be done in like 10 hours work easily, start to finish.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't do another, task.
But for today, we just want to get people used to signing up and being willing. This will be muscle memory. If somebody will sign up to do a task and you see them get it done, it's kind of contagious. Other people want to get their tasks done. Do you see how this can work? And you build muscle memory. This example Lisa gives, I was trying not to beat it too much, but I got to tell you, this one, we built a home in Clarksville, and we were staying at a hotel, so we were visiting a nearby congregation, and they started writing us cards. And we couldn't get them to quit. We said, we're not going to live here. We're just in this hotel. I bet we had 20 or 30 cards welcoming us to the community and make us be there. So Lisa sent them a card. Look, we can't come here. We love you guys. Your card ministry is fantastic. They sent us a thank you card for our card.
And they pinned my card to their bulletin board.
And it was on the bulletin board when we were there.
They walked in for the next service, and
People appreciate getting something in the mail anymore. Something handwritten, not automated, but people appreciate seeing stuff. So, have I set this up enough? Do you think you can be successful with your goal teams? How about have many of you had experience leading a team either in a nonprofit setting or a workplace? Okay, all right. So help one another. These goal team leaders help one another. Share your insights about what happened in your goal team meeting. And I'm going to ask us to debrief in an hour when you come back together. So, all right. Does this help?
Yes, it did.
Okay. All right. Sorry I went too fast because this is kind of second nature to me, and so it's not fair. Because
we have to pick one of the 3
today. Now, if in the future you could say, you might say, look, I'd really like to come to your teams too. But today we've got to get good at just setting up a meeting, a few volunteers, and setting up the next meeting. We're not asking for a lot today. Just get organized. Yeah.
So on this we have a definite overlap with the Trail Life and the American Heritage Girls. That was also part of the homeschool group, and so.
Which group would you? Which group would you? It sounds like there's a lot of energy for that. My vote, I think it actually fits better with the homeschool thing. What's the rest of you say? So would you guys table that one? Do you agree, Timothy? That's fine. Yeah. All right. So let's. Right. I'd like to advance things for you today. So I just said let's talk about that. Do that. But as Lisa said, you guys are going to be communicating about what's happening in your goal team, and you're going to share it with the rest of the group, right? And so you'll catch if 2 teams are working on the same thing.
So just to add to that, I think the discipleship training and making part of our discussions when we talked
That's spiritual maturity. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. But you know what? There are 100 good ideas. We just took 2 of yours off your team, is the way I look at
I
it.
want number 8 though.
Well, sorry. Okay, how many people then are going to go to the spiritual growth meeting? Show of hands. All right, Rich is the leader. Who else? Okay, we got 5 or 6. How about the homeschool thing? 5. Okay, and then the rest all to the 200 member? Show your hands though, just to make sure. Yeah, you know that's a nice split. Now I'll roam around. Each of you team leaders say where you want to meet at, and I'll roam around, and I can't help myself but butt in some. Tell me to butt out if you got it going, but talk about what you think your top 1 or 2 things you got to get done this month is. Ask for somebody to volunteer. And at the end of this, the whole goal would be for you to be able to write down a little plan. Here's the plan for my team. Here's the plan for my goal. And you could lay it out over the next year. And then I think you use a men's business meeting for now to manage things. Take that plan to the men's business meetings and say, look, I need a budget of $6,200 over the next 2 years. Whatever, say what you need. All right, I need 18 people, I need the building 3 days a week, whatever your needs are, advocate for that and get that for these goals. Okay? Is that a fair way to deal with it? Okay. All right, so who wants to, where do you want to meet, Marty and Julie?
Downstairs.
Marty and Julie downstairs. Will you take all your charts and, all right, where's the homeschool group want to meet? Okay, all right, they're up here. And then how about the spiritual growth team?
We'll go downstairs.
All right. Does everybody know what to do?
Yeah.
Go! I'll get you back here in an hour.
That one. Oh, is that one mine?
That's the summary.
Oh, that goes with it.
That's the summary.
Okay.
This is one of your things we said you had to worry about a little bit.
Okay, cool. Thank
if you
you.
really get to
This is
that.
ours as
Yep,
well?
yep. They're all yours.
All right. Appreciate it. Did I just take one that wasn't ours? No, I didn't. No, they're all yours. Wait, this isn't ours. That's not ours. Yeah, it is. This one? Oh, we just joking around about 20,000. Oh, I got you. We take it from each group, not just the one we wrote.
These are all the ideas.
Okay, I got you. Perfect. Thank you very much.
You want some more paper to make notes, or do you want to do it on one of these, and you want to use your own notebooks?
Well, I can write on this one, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's the idea behind this.
It is. I just
So
want
I'll just put
feel
this.
like you got enough. There's more over here if you need more paper.
Okay, yeah.
I took the plan just for
All right, who all's in my group over here?
Everybody who's up here is in your.
Is in our group?
I like beans and all kind of.
So does that mean Colette and
I don't think so.
Wanda?
I think they're waiting to get out. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Right, if you guys that are in here, if you guys want to move up this way so you can see the board, because I can't see it. I need you guys' eyes. All right. So do you want me to go through and read these off again so that we? I don't encourage them. Would you want me to do that?
Yeah, okay.
So, okay, I'll do that. So we have socialization activities with prayer and devotionals and hands-on activities. activities like fishing, hiking, car maintenance, carpentry, log splitting, etc. Homeschooling consolation for beginning homeschoolers. Offer classes both Bible-based or not, science, English, math, etc. Okay, provide location, which would obviously probably be here for the time being. Extracurricular activities. Electives, okay. Like sewing, canning, etc. Free. Evaluating the real need. Things that are already existing like low income and minority. Maybe include not homeschool kids. And legalities, insurance, allergies, health, meals, or snacks. Let's see here. This one says co-op, a space with the individuals doing their own work but have shared activities like weeding a yard, devotionals. Ask people who have done it. Offer Toastmasters, Girl Scouts, etiquette classes. Intro to homeschooling for the community and having a difference in curriculum.
And knowing the differences in curriculum.
Oh, and knowing the difference, okay. Creating a community for homeschoolers. Clear service the church is offering.
So that means like, how are we helping homeschoolers? We know exactly like what.
Oh, how we're helping
like,
homeschooling,
Yeah, we have
okay.
actually like things that we actually do.
Provide things that we.
Like
Okay.
sell it, you know,
Okay.
clear.
And provide assistance to find out what homeschooler families need, like what is missing, the community, and surveying what problems are needed, or problems/needs. Help people moving to Idaho want to homeschool, or wanting to homeschool. Support parents. Free public speaking classes. Toddler Sunday school classes. Provide social activities and Bible class activities, weekend devos. And then we have assessment of what we can provide, organize programs available, steps for startups, advertise in the community like Facebook, flyers, and obviously I think that says to register, because we mentioned that one, I remember that one now. Mentorship for new parents to homeschoolers, or to homeschool, and provide specialized classes like Toastmasters for juniors, doing apologetics press or focus press type material, social outings, art and music, robotics, ice cream, sports PE, and creation/Genesis, or creation and Genesis. So, obviously we have several that are overlapping. Anything first? Probably, obviously for actions, I think we kind of hit that one over here. What do we want to provide? So getting us a plan on what we want to do. Do we want to do 1 day a week, 1 day a month, once every 2 weeks? Those kind of things, I think, is kind of what we're, and we thought we wouldn't start this till next, like August, September, probably September, to start doing this. So this gives us plenty of time to start getting things ready, finding out, because we talked about Church of Christ to start with, and then broaden it out,
Or
see who's
spring,
available.
could we work it in spring? I mean,
It depends on what you're trying to
I mean,
accomplish.
Yeah.
to do like an initial learn lessons from the spring startup and then hit full blast in the fall. I mean, I kind of wondering what we're actually stepping into and realize, okay, what can we do? And we realize, oh man, we were swamped with this type of thing that happened up there. What are we gonna do for the fall? Because we don't want to over promise and deliver.
And under deliver. Yeah.
Well, it's what are we wanting to do? Are we wanting to, say, start the Heritage Girls and the Trailblazers? Okay, is that our goal? That we want to start that next year? And for this year, we just want to kind of start putting out feelers, like doing research of this is what other places are offering, and say we don't see, or say there's an art and music program, but they're charging $200 a class. And we're like, okay, well, we could do it for free. Because our goal is just getting some kids together. Or what,
Maybe we should like
That's what I'm
homeschool
thinking, too.
families, what do you want and what is missing?
So it sounds
Or
like,
what problems you're having.
so it sounds like an assessment of what's needed,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I think your tip just fell out.
Oh, I think it did too.
Don't pick it up. Oh, right there.
Yeah, I think we need to know
There's
like
some more.
what's out there and
So-
what
That's
In fact, that's,
we're
yeah, maybe
offering,
these will work.
so we know.
I think you're on the right track with the needs assessment, but if you do decide to do the Trail Life American Heritage Goal, it's gonna take you 6 to 9 months to set it up. They have a real structure that you have to go through a hierarchy of being a charter representative, you have to get a new charter set up. They do the background checks on all of you, and they do the training. So a lot of the stuff about background checks and stuff, you don't have to worry about. They do it, they manage it all for you. But that's something, if you don't start it right away, you won't have it done before the next school year.
Okay.
So
I think we
basically that
should.
11 months that we were talking about downstairs would pretty much, even with that one.
It could be, it could take you that long.
Okay.
So,
Because they're rigorous about making sure, there's 1,400 chapters, but they want to make sure that you're legit.
Right, Joseph.
So, yeah, assessment of what is needed is very important, but I think we also need to organize what do we want to do.
Right.
Because when I first brought this up in our group, it was how to help parents homeschool, or a place to go to help try to figure that out.
Right.
So do we want to put on a full-on homeschool, or do we want parents to be involved in helping with that homeschooling?
So that's going along with this one. What you're saying, Joseph, is this one, and I saw it, this one here.
support group or?
Exactly, are we gonna be more of a support group to help families homeschool, or are we just gonna be a full-on homeschool area?
I think that's a good place to start, because then if we start getting people to come in, we can start hearing what they're saying and go from there and collaborating with them, or.
Support
So
parents.
we need, so we need someone who like knows about homeschooling to educate all of us in this group to start with.
Don't
Well,
know
like,
anybody
what
like
is
that.
that need to, like, why do you do it? You know, why should I do it? And like, how do I start? And then what's in the area? So like it's basically homeschooling 101 for like this group that's meeting right here and anyone else who's starting to do it. But I think we also need like, what are we okay with? Because if we're gonna be a resource for homeschoolers, are we gonna refer people who come here to like the different programs that are available, including ones at another church? I don't know, I don't think so.
I'm not gonna include anyone from another.
Okay.
If they've got their own setup, we're not gonna tie into theirs.
So what if it's like, so if it's just like, oh, like, all the homeschoolers go to the library, would let them know about that? Do you know, like,
Well,
do
okay,
you know what I mean?
so you're
Like,
saying if
like
there's
if we're
some
being
kind
a
of,
resource about homeschooling, you wanna be like, oh, I know what's going on in the area and I can give you all the information, but
I
then
see what you're saying.
we're gonna be skewing it to what we think is okay, right?
Well, I took it as you're saying is like, well, if they have something you wanna do, we'll point you to go to that one.
No, well,
that's what-
no,
that's
we
what I thought you were
wouldn't,
saying
that's the
first,
thing,
okay.
yeah. But I mean, like, okay, what if it's like, oh, there's an ice skating group. Do you know, like, would we say, oh, let's all go to that? Or would we say, no, we have to start every single thing? Do you know what I mean? So are we gonna have like some criteria where like, these activities are okay or these aren't, you know?
So you're saying shared activities amongst other homeschool groups?
I think
So
we
it
need
sounds
to
like you're
decide among ourselves
I
what,
think-
what is okay and what is not okay.
I
Well-
think that it's a good thing to tie into other resources as
Yeah.
long as it doesn't start to become, as long as it's not another religious
Yeah.
And I think,
background. Because,
Like a trailblazer.
I
well,
mean,
yeah, maybe like a trailblazer, but
and you know,
there
we
was,
might discover too that we get
Oh, like
involved
sports and
with a
PE.
group and you think,
That'd be one
okay, I heard somebody
can even
talking
have
about
homeschool groups
language and
Yeah.
things
stuff
like that.
together.
Then we need to make a note that we're not gonna participate with those groups. And maybe that means some of our group vets some of these other things first, so we don't get into a big outing and have a whole day where now we're answering questions for our children.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, because there are some that aren't religious based, I believe either.
Oh, yeah.
right, so, I mean, there could be
Yeah.
things out there that our kids could benefit,
to, and this all started for me, was with Shaylin. Because she wants to homeschool, and I don't wanna send her over to the North Summit and go over there and homeschool. And I don't have no clue in that, that's why I want to get this started, was so she has a place at the Church of Christ to go and learn how to do this. Or even work with people that have done it to do it.
So what you're saying, Joseph, we probably ought to start within our own group
Absolutely.
and then
Oh, yeah.
expand to outside our group and get our feet on the ground.
That's what I think.
I think so too. Well, and it makes it easier if I'm talking to Nadia and Shaylin,
Yeah.
and if I'm making sense, but if they feel comfortable with me and they're like, you're not making, it's easier for me to talk to them than to complete strangers
Yeah.
who are like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Where if I'm talking to them, they could be like, okay, Jenny, can you please, this doesn't make sense to me, or let's, you know, and it's always easy to be like, okay, that doesn't make sense, let's research it together, or you think this is okay, but I don't think this is okay, and
Well, and I think there's a lot to be said for being grounded in what we offer to the community. So I think before we go out, it would be much better for us to take a little time to get comfortable with what we are offering
I agree.
and to have a solid plan. As opposed to getting out there and then all of a sudden we're bombarded with, oh, I didn't think about this, or we didn't know about this, and now we're having to kind of go back. Because I think then we put out a presence out there that's not good for the community. We could end
So,
up in this.
it sounds like before the assessment, we probably need to do research first then, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think we do.
And then assess what we want to do, which we know one of those is, that I'm hearing alike, is a homeschooling like 101. So, I'm
Yeah,
gonna put
that's
research
down
up
the,
here.
way down the action list.
but that's mainly starting with in-house first.
So there's two assessments.
right.
There's assessments of what's needed and then assessment of what we're gonna do.
Right.
So when we were down there, we were discussing, potential how many there could be. And just in-house, it could be up to 20 kids.
Oh, yeah.
If you count Bonner's Ferry here, and then like Jace and his family, they go to public school, but if we started something like this, they might potentially start joining, get into this.
Cause we're
So it could-
only talking 1 day a week, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jace's family could attend something
Yeah.
if we planned it on the right
And
days.
Shy's supposedly gonna live with us and we're gonna homeschool and we've never done that before.
So would we say we're focusing on our members, kids, and then making it so that we can reach other people in that same age group?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's.
You know, beware of going too broad.
Yeah, right
Well, and I
away.
think one thing you can do is once we get, if we have a homeschool group started amongst ours, as soon as we start feeling a little bit comfortable venturing out, maybe we start by adding an activity where we invite or plug in a couple other local homeschool groups. We invite them to come and participate in this outing and see how that goes. And that's something we can take back to our meetings and, hey,
How did this work?
yeah, how did this work out? Is there something we should have done different? And we can use that to build on.
So would that be, surrounding homeschool groups, is that what that is? Would that be assessment, or would that be something down here for later?
Probably what we want to do.
What we want to do, okay. So that would be.
Because once we feel more comfortable in knowing once we feel comfortable in knowing who we are, kind of what we're focusing on, then we can be like, okay, we
Let's do
know,
this.
yeah, we know who we are, so now we can kind of branch out and see what other groups are like, and be like, okay, they shared the same things, or this group was good to relate with, or, we're gonna draw back into ourselves, regroup, and then,
Because that in-house could be trial and error, it could be this program, let's organize in a program that's available
yeah,
and seeing what works with certain or age groups and
yeah, yeah.
who's gonna take this younger group, who's gonna take this older group,
Okay,
or is it all one?
Yeah,
alright, so, sounds like the first part, in-house, doing homeschool 101, and then from that, finding out
Sorry, Timmy, is
Yeah.
that 101 with this group?
Yes.
this group. Yeah,
And
with the
in-
in-house, I'm
Within.
talking about just here at the Sandpoint
Well,
Church of Christ.
I think Nadia was talking about with this group right here, right?
I think it can be both, whoever's interested. I think people we know, not random people.
You're right, that's why I was saying.
Kind of here at Sandpoint.
In our
So
church.
it's not in our
Sandpoint,
church, so
C.
not yet.
Okay.
In our church.
C
Okay.
is what I was thinking of in-house. It's just
Yeah.
us first,
Yeah.
and then when we go to the other, we'll include like Bonners, Hope, Coeur d'Alene, wherever else possibly, kind of getting them involved. And then also, it's like, okay, if they're wanting to get involved now, we can let's reach out to the community. Does that make sense? So I should put, what should I put this? CFC right first?
Yeah,
And then we'll have one of everyone, actually, call it everyone, right?
And community could be our third year goal.
Yeah,
External, there you go.
yeah, because at the moment, I mean, there's nothing up here that is based Church of Christ. I mean, Wade and Leah do classical conversations, but that's still not like Church of Christ. I mean, if I were to reach out to, I know Array and Noah are doing homeschooling down in Coeur d'Alene. I could reach out because I'm like, oh, I know their brother and sister in Christ who are also looking to connect with other homeschool families. So then that would be, an opportunity to reach out. We're not trying to convert them, but we're trying to just grow together stronger as Christians together in a homeschool environment.
Okay.
And by them
So-
reaching, then that kind of spider webs out
Right.
to their friends that are wanting to do homeschool. I think that's how you start when you got with their nucleus, and then you spider web out to those that those people may even know, or we even may know. I mean, just you start and then grow out.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first, well, I guess it could be like homeschooling networking event.
Right.
Everyone who
Yeah.
homeschools or planning to homeschool get together and we visit.
Good point. That'd be
See what they
one of your
wanna
first
do,
meetings.
what their
And then
desires
we'll kind of, that'll give us some ideas.
For us inside
I like that.
Sandpoint Church of Christ, or even surrounding churches of
I,
Christ? What
I
do you
think I meant surrounded.
Surrounding?
Because I don't
Okay.
know these people. I mean, I'm planning to do what I suggested, which is like once a month, like in the building, have like a toddler Bible class. Like on a Wednesday, on a like Friday morning or Tuesday morning. Like I was planning to do that either way, so that would be, we can put it as part of the goal, because I feel like I've got enough, like, I'm hanging around the library and the playground, I could probably bring at least a few people together, and Shaylin, on a Monday or Wednesday, just like starting like January next year, and then, and just
So a
do it
toddler
once a
zone?
month, yeah, for toddlers, and then at least I'm building connections, and hopefully like,
What would you
then
call
we can
that?
discuss
It's like a
homeschooling.
toddler, we have it on the bottom.
It's just like toddler
Oh,
Bible
toddler
class.
Sunday school,
But on a
Monday?
Friday
But on
or Monday.
a
You said Monday?
weekday, a weekday,
Oh,
I haven't
toddler,
decided.
okay.
Depends who wants to help, I'll adjust closer. So I'm doing that once a month.
Okay,
But
so
that
a
gets
toddler
those-
weekday class?
But that gets those relationships because they're not at that point yet, but if they ever are thinking about homeschooling, they know they can go to Nadia because she'd be a resource to come to.
But I'm not a resource yet.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah.
So
Nadia-
you're
Nadia,
gonna
are you
help
thinking-
me become a resource.
So Nadia, are you thinking preschool or just toddler age,
Just
like?
toddler.
Whatever Alethea is at that age,
Alethea's
so when
age.
she's 2, it's 2, when it's
So
when she's
2-year-olds.
3, it's 3,
I was
or
thinking
3
like
to 4.
Cooper's is preschool, and they have a homeschool thing for
Right.
preschool
Is that
too.
because they've got older siblings that kind of meet up? Yeah, so she doesn't have older siblings, so it's mostly like,
So a question on that one, the toddler weekday class. Now, would that be something you would do as together with the homeschooling thing? Because if a family has toddlers and older kids.
This could be a
Yeah.
springboard. So.
Right, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
would you wanna do it all, let's say,
The same
on the same day, like on
yeah,
a Friday?
yeah, that would make sense, because if you've got like people with different ages So we should just choose a day where it's like, we hang out at the building or the kids stay.
Well,
And then
you said-
whoever comes, we have something for them.
Right,
Yeah.
well, you said you
Yeah.
were already starting,
I'm doing that, yeah, I was gonna do
you're
that.
already gonna start doing that, and so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, whatever day you pick, if that's working out for you, then that's what we can work on to that day, to be like, okay, we're gonna have, you know, a sewing class that day, or we're gonna have a Toastmasters class that day, and so they have the one classroom, and we're like, okay, upstairs, we're gonna have Toastmasters, and so if you have older children, they can come up here, but hers is already established, where people with toddlers, or moms with toddlers, I mean, I guess dads too, can come, and they know downstairs for this set of time, there's toddler class, and hey, in the fall, we're gonna be starting a Toastmasters junior class for those who have older students who want to know how to do public speaking,
Or just speaking, yeah.
or just speaking.
Toastmaster juniors, right? And I believe that was gonna be you, Dad? I mean, I guess we have Wanda that's done this before too, right? Is that what I heard?
So, but the hardest
one of the
part
two
is
you
that,
did.
so Nadia's starting that no matter what, where
Okay.
the rest of us are still gonna be doing the research to
And I'll
figure
be
out,
help research.
right,
Yeah.
but to figure out who we are and what we want as goals.
So anything we put in the in-house will eventually come down to here and then
Right.
external as
Right.
well.
But
So
we
we're
don't
just
want,
talking about right now what we wanna start doing.
right,
Or try to research and start doing
right.
sooner than,
Cause the biggest part is that we don't wanna get started and you have people who are homeschooling or who are passionate about, because most homeschool parents are passionate, we don't wanna get pushed around. Well, you need to be incorporating this, or you need to be incorporating that. It's like, we have to know already that it's like, okay, this is what we're offering, you know?
Yeah.
So,
We feel comfortable.
Yeah, we feel comfortable.
I-
And accomplished it often.
yeah, and
You
we
know.
need to all be on the same page about what we're offering
Yeah.
too. And, cause if not, it
Right.
gets tangled and someone's like, oh yeah, we have all this homeschool stuff, and they rock up like, no you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, we need to be clear on. So I definitely think once we do that homeschooling 101, we'll all kind of know a bit more about homeschooling and then what we can offer. But I feel like it's kind of clear. It's like a support group for homeschooling.
mhm,
So maybe that could be our thing. Is
Well,
that
but
we
the-
just have a homeschooling network.
so the homeschooling 101 is for those who've not homeschooled, to give you an idea of what's entailed, you know, what is out there, besides just this group, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
So like, if you haven't homeschooled before, like, so Jenny, it was pretty, I don't know, did you have anybody that kind of told you anything about it, or was it?
oh yeah, at Northland.
Okay, so that's what I thought.
So what did they do at Northland?
I had lots of different ones, like Becky Zajac, she did the co-op, and she started the co-op, and I would say, can I come to your house? And it was always hard, cause she's like, well, you're gonna do it differently than me. You won't look the same, and I'm like, but I just wanna come and see what you do. And so even just being able to be like, okay, what do you do, or what do you say, and just having that encouragement, cause I mean, we had about, 20 moms that we all homeschooled, and so, I mean, we just did a Lego club that all the homeschool moms got together, and the kids just built with Legos, but I mean, that's when our kids were, I mean, the girls were only
So I feel like that, I don't think we need an assessment for that. I feel like we know that we can, like, if someone is wanting to homeschool, that they can come to us and we can tell them about it. Like, are you thinking of homeschooling?
I think I think though we need kind of a purpose. I think we need to know what our purpose of the group is though. Are we just trying to be a resource to help them find, you know, this is what you need. These are different curriculums. These are support activities and provide extra resources for these groups that are already doing what they're doing at home, and we can still help give them ideas or where to find curriculum, or maybe we gonna research some curriculums and decide, hey, this is some ones that we recommend, and kind of put it back in there. I mean, like, what do we wanna do as a group? What do,
So I think
where
what
we
you're
wanna
saying is,
focus.
so some of the stuff you're talking about is the homeschooling 101, right? Because that's like giving ideas for somebody who hasn't done anything like that.
So is that
before.
just a meeting?
I think that would be more of a meeting.
Okay.
And so in that meeting, for those who are wanting to learn, so that wouldn't necessarily have to be like with the other things once we get started, but for those who want to start homeschooling, here's some ideas. This is how it works for me. Here's some things that I found that didn't work. Here's things that
Yes.
worked for me. And that's just for me, because each person, your students are gonna be different, so you may have to do something different, because some don't learn the same ways.
Right.
She can attest, we've got 5, and of the 5, each one of them's different. I even just went doing the math. It's amazing. I have 2 of them that are pretty self-sufficient for the most part, and then 2 that are like, you gotta hold their hand pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, each student's different. So, in learning that in the homeschooling, what those are. So, Joseph gets some too.
Yeah, cause I had the same exact question, but I think we can tackle both. Cause we can do the homeschool 101, teach them how to homeschool, they can do that at home. And then have a certain day, like Nadia's wanna do a juniors, toddlers weekend or weekday, where they can come here, let's say Friday, just throwing a day out there, come here Friday, and we have an activity that they can do, whatever age group.
See, I think it's a supplemental thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Usually that's what it is.
We're
That was
not
my
actually
idea.
conducting an actual class. We're supplementing whatever they don't have
Yep.
in their program at home.
Having,
That was my thoughts.
having
too.
said
Yeah.
that, when Alethea starts school, I will be having a class, so people can join if they want.
Yeah. Right, but we're
So
talking about
I would
some
say
things
that
that,
can be, yeah.
yeah, like art and music. Usually those 2, you can do art, but if you have somebody that's more of an artistic or has taught art, they're gonna be better at it than I am. My writing's about as good as my drawing, which isn't anything. So for somebody that knows art, they can say like, okay, let's do this canvas. I've done the ones that we did in the little class. You're supposed to do these things to do it. And like, okay, I did it that way, but can I do that by myself without that? No. So getting that free thinker out of that, or of music. So if we know somebody that knows how to teach music or knows how to,
Basics.
yeah, the basics, like Cheyenne is in the marching band. So her with music, she's already got some, but if there was some additional music for her or something to do, and that's why I told him, I believe the public schools, you can go do their things here in Idaho. You don't have to be in the public school to actually be a part of that. So there is that part of it, but.
You,
So
like,
you're-
so when you do sports, you do have to take, I think it's like 1 class.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
what the
have to
Holmans
certain
did,
amount of
yeah.
hours.
The
To-
Holmans
to
when they were
coach a
So
wrestling.
they had to
team.
do an online class?
No, I think they had to go,
Oh.
yeah.
There, I think I was able to do I did coached cheer for a while, so when my daughters were wanting to do it because I didn't like the stuff that they were doing. So I wanted to offer a cleaner program, and that, I had to do that. I had to do like so many hours, but I was able to do it online. But you do have, anytime you're gonna teach kids and offer it like that, if you wanna be involved, you have to do it.
You mean teaching it or attending?
Like
To
the
To
team.
coach,
Yeah.
to be a coach or to
Yeah.
teach a sport, an athlete,
You have
something.
But like the Holman
athletics.
boys, when they wanted to do wrestling, they had to do it through the high school, but they had to take X amount of hours through the high school to be on that team.
So you're about halfway through, a little more than halfway through. You've got a few items here. Is somebody agreed to take that idea, maybe write a paragraph of how to do it, and then let you put a whole program together? And by when? That's kind of the idea. I see you got some names assigned, which is better than the other groups have done. But you want to be thinking about, by when could I get this idea flushed out? And actually, somebody ought to write down a paragraph and then bring it back to your next meeting.
Oh, things that we're kind of already talking about. Okay.
And pick 2 or 3 real things that you can get done, and then you'll find yourself getting the muscle memory. You get, Tom writes up this Toastmaster Juniors, he kicks it off, and then the next idea you come up with, you guys will see see it go smoother if you get this muscle memory. And not, yeah.
So we are already pretty busy, so we were to plan a meeting with all these people, like in our group, like I guess recommendations on practically, like when do people schedule their meetings, and do like if my husband's in, it makes more sense like the meetings at the same time.
Yeah, they could
Like,
coordinate.
you know
The
what I
goal
mean? Like,
team
do we-
leaders could coordinate, but generally,
have it
it's worth,
separately?
for me, I think these are the goals for your congregation. If you're not having a Sunday evening worship, I don't know if you do or don't, tack it onto that. Tack it on to a Wednesday. Do this in lieu of your Wednesday. Get going on this stuff, because this is what's going to change your congregation. And if you're busy doing other things that aren't fitting these goals, stop it.
So do you think the group meeting should be concurrent or separate times?
That's up to you, but it's concurrent makes sense, because I see spouses have split up into different groups. But I did that today mainly just to get everybody going. You may reorganize, and it may be a little different team. You may bring some more people from the congregation in that you find you've got a better time. Generally attached to one of the other worship or Bible studies is a good time to meet. Sorry to interrupt, but you want to start to get some names, and by a certain date, I'll flush this idea back.
Okay.
And when our next meeting is. Start to talk about when you could have your next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. So, I guess I gotta put meeting up here, right?
So
Maybe
are
alternate
we-
sing nights, I don't know.
Are we wanting to look into the Trailblazers and
Yes.
American Heritage so is that even part of our, like, research, or is that another part of us?
Well, I think that should be
I
part
think
of the
that's
research.
part of
Is
the
the
research.
American Heritage for girls and the Trail
Blazers is for boys.
Yeah.
I can gladly do the Trailblazers. I have a great contact for that, Marcus
Okay.
in Colorado.
What ages are, I mean, are there ages?
They start as
K through
like 4 or
Yeah.
5 years old, and they go all the way up to like 16, 17 years old. in trail. It's just like a mere Boy Scouts what it used to be. But now it's kind of Christian base, and doesn't have all the other garbage that's going on in Boy Scout.
So, on the research, do we want this to be a co-op? So-
I don't even know what a co-op is.
So co-op's where you're doing your thing, but there's one day a week, usually once a week, right? Is I think the way it was set, or was it twice a month?
No,
Once a week.
it depends on what you wanna do.
Depends on what you want to do. So usually once a week, you get together and you would do some of these other things, like say Friday, let's use that for instance, right? So on Friday, we would have, depends upon how much structure we get into it, but to begin with, start with something basic. So like they did, Legos on Friday morning from 8 to 10. So that was their beginning, and then it went beyond that, I think, too, didn't it? Was it after we left that they went even more?
Yeah, well,
I
it was
started-
before.
Oh, before we left. Oh, before Legos left?
So,
Okay, so, but giving us something to look forward to is, so the idea with the co-op is the group of homeschoolers get together, and for things that, like, we don't do art or music, right? And somebody does do art and music, they could do other kids that don't have that resource, and they could do a class for them. Or like we have the robotics. That one usually will get a lot of kids in for the robotics, right? So it'd be a class that we don't have that at our house, so it'd be something our kids, Brendan was like, his head just whoop, yep, robotics, I wanna do that, So you get them where there's one time, once a week, where you can have a class that they can do something along those lines to get them started and interested in that, is what the co-op kinda does. Just for instance.
someone said to me, co-op is when you drop your kids off and leave, whereas it's not necessarily, right? No.
Yeah, we're not gonna do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the parent, we even said that somewhere,
Yeah.
parent has to be, there with,
So
somewhere I
what does
think
the
we put
op
it.
stand for?
We don't.
Huh?
Cooperation.
Yes, cooperation amongst, homeschool people.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so I'll put in here, we'll have a meeting next, I should have put next first. Okay, so at number 1, we're gonna research into co-op homeschool group. look at this homeschooling 101?
Well, like we said, that's just gonna be a one,
Well, do you want it to, it could be something we could do that's separate from that, but it gets people that are interested in wanting to do homeschooling. So that
Well,
way they
for
kinda have an
Shaylin
idea
and
of
me.
what it is, huh?
For me and Shaylin, that would be fun, yeah.
Right, I don't know if we wanna do something that gives you the ins, the outs of homeschooling, you know, what kind of curriculum, why I picked this curriculum compared to other curriculums, because there's a ton of different ones out there. If you go out and look, you could probably find thousands of different curriculums.
But
So-
there's gonna be, like, I don't have kids, but I would sit in on that just to understand it.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
you could do once a quarter, you could have an information night. And at that information night, it could also be, you know, you could have like a panel session where you, vet a couple of people to answer questions. Maybe people who are leading successful homeschool groups. You could even have a speaker if you wanted that could have a topic. You could have a session where parents just are talking amongst, like in a kind of a support type group. Well, this is what, you know, what do you call it, like a, I don't know. Anyways,
I think it should be like either like maybe called homeschooling support group or homeschooling network. Just like so it's not like they're expecting too much. It's more like they're just
There's
like
an
sharing.
ongoing problem.
so you don't want
Yeah.
homeschooling 101 then?
no,
No, I feel like
Okay, so network,
but people who don't know anything, that's a good thing for them to attend. So it's a good thing for people to attend who don't homeschool and are thinking about it, but also if you homeschool, you can also find other people that are doing it and can like troubleshoot. You know
Well,
what I
they
mean?
have that book out,
So-
Homeschool for Dummies.
So are you
yeah,
wanting
who wrote
something
that?
that,
Who wrote that?
I don't know, but I've seen it out there.
Maybe
Johnny,
not support
are you
group.
wanting something like
I need
a
that
night
book.
where you say, why homeschool? You
It's
could just
funny.
put that out there. That could be the topic of your meeting. Why
So
homeschool?
maybe why homeschool?
And what's it all about?
I don't know.
Or whatever.
And it's
You
what
could do a
it's
catchy
about.
little thing and that could get, you know, whoever.
Would you attend that as someone who already homeschools?
She'd probably be the one that.
No, I'm just saying like
yeah.
if we're trying to get people who already homeschool or people
Well, they
wanting
might-
to homeschool.
Well-
If they're already doing something here, they might come to see what you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the same person, like if we have somebody else that's been homeschooling as well for a while, they may have a different take, and you're like, well, I wanna see what they're doing as well, so it could be,
Right, like we could invite Wade and Leah down.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, you could,
right.
definitely. I think.
What's the really
I feel
one?
like that's a networking
Whatever
thing. It's not,
resources you
yeah.
Right. So, who would want to lead this one up?
I guess so.
Well,
I just need coaching from everybody to know what I'm.
I can help you with that.
well, so I guess actually is finding out, you know, what to start with on this. I mean, why homeschool? I mean, that's a question for that. It's like, okay, so if I have this homeschooling network or support group, whatever you want to call it, to give information out or just have conversations like going, you know, what did you guys have that really worked well or not? You know,
And
what
with
do you
that
need help
too-
on?
Right, and with that too, Jenny, you can talk about programs you've used and what's helped you get to homeschool your kids. Cause I know that's what like Shaylin's really looking for. She wants to know what programs can she use that is sound.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we have.
She knew the one that just got baptized. Okay, 'cause
Okay,
I
so,
needed to be
yeah.
on the right.
What do you want me to
place.
call this? Homeschooling network? Sounds like a TV
How about
channel.
homeschool event? Parents.
I don't know about the event.
Event.
Why is it
Meeting.
homeschooling? I don't know.
Homeschooling meeting. Homeschooling.
Um,
All right,
Cause if you put
brainstorm.
introduction, yeah,
Brainstorming.
homeschool brainstorm, or
Okay.
I like the introduction. Introduction.
Meet
Introduction
other
to homeschooling.
homeschooling parents.
Introduction to homeschooling.
Introduction to
Okay.
homeschooling.
Introduction.
Yeah.
All right.
That works.
But when you dive into it, is it really faith-based? Or if you look at something and you're like, well, they're missing this, that's a good niche we can get into that would make people interested.
And we all search a little bit differently probably
Yeah.
for things, so we might all come up with different.
So I put why homeschool, why faith-based? Kind of asking those questions, why do you want to do that?
I reckon we put out, we're having this night, I think people would come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a
I
lot
think
of
so,
people
too.
would come.
That's why we
And-
have to know what we
Yeah.
What we wanna do.
And I think with that homeschooling introduction, Nadia could also kind of talk about what she plans with the toddler group.
Yeah. Well, and I think practically a lot of them will be future homeschoolers, you know.
Yeah.
Right, so with this, would you do any particular material?
Oh,
So,
they don't know.
well,
They
no,
just-
the reason I said that is because one of the things we talked about when we were talking about ours is like, I mentioned about creation. How important is that? I think that is the basis of a lot of things, especially in our world, that's the basis of everything, right? So if we're saying faith-based, it's like, okay, well then, if we look at something that has to do with creation in Genesis, the first 2 chapters, making that like our main theme, then that will tie into everything else that we do in that, because kids love dinosaurs, they love, you know, all the different things. I mean, if you're teaching about creation to begin with, that would be a great thing for the toddlers. It'd be a great thing for, you know, Toastmasters, because if they have to defend that against, you know, all the evils of this world, especially with evolution, then being able to speak on that. The Trailblazers, I mean, that would come in part of that too, I believe.
So, so Toastmasters is juniors, Trailblazers is younger,
It's,
or are
totally
they
different
totally
things.
different?
yeah, they're totally different things. Yeah, this is like Boy Scouts. When Boy Scouts did their whole things with the homosexuals, Trailblazers got started. And so they do what Boy Scouts used to do. So, is basically what
And
it is.
both of those are for boys?
Yes.
The Toastmasters for anybody.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
just
That-
public,
that's
that's just
public
how to
speaking.
speak in front of
Yeah.
people, how to.
Yeah, it's public
Oh,
speaking.
oh,
This
oh,
is,
so it's not like a regular group?
right,
Okay.
right.
Well, Toastmasters is a big thing, like in the corporate
Right.
world, because they were trying to push me. I was like, but anyway. But, so to have it for juniors, that would be awesome.
So the, what was the other one, the girls?
American Heritage Girls.
American
American
Heritage Girls.
Yeah, where's that one at? It's on this one, I think, isn't it?
Well, I think we said American Girls, but yeah, because that's the other side of
Well, this one
Girl
said Girl
Scouts.
Scouts.
Okay, well, I would look into, I'll look into
You wanna look at that
You wanna look into that one?
And I'll look
Okay.
into Trailblazer.
Okay, so,
American Heritage.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not American Girls.
Yeah,
since I was
American
corrected.
Heritage what?
Girls.
Okay.
Tanya, right?
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah.
Okay, put Tanya on that one. Okay, so,
So did we say what our next meeting is?
not yet.
Oh, okay.
We probably should. So, do you want me to put these things that people are gonna look into over here as well for our next meeting, so we can kind of give an idea of where we're going? Okay,
Just on.
I'd say report out, that's what the next meeting's about, these items over
report
here.
out.
Report out on toddler class, report out on the Trailmasters, Trailblazers, American Heritage Girls.
Toddler class, this is Nadia. All right, oops, already had it straight before. We have Toastmasters. Is that one hard to set up, Dad?
So since this is a supplement to homeschooling, some of this other stuff can be incorporated too, right?
Yeah. One of the things I think I'm gonna do research on this is, since we want this to be faith-based, since I think, or biblical-based, I think is what we put, I'm gonna search that.
And are we gonna cap it, or are we gonna have to watch size? Like we were saying, if we already have it in-house, the amount of people, then what do we do when,
Well, facility is obviously gonna determine that,
right,
hence the reason why we said 50. I don't think we can support any more than 50 kids here at
Right.
any one time, for sure, at this building. So,
okay.
but yeah, it would be nice if we could go bigger, but I think that's our goal, is to get to 50.
Well,
Maybe
you
if we
could
get-
do like different times, do you know what I mean? Like the morning, like if you service people in the morning and then the afternoon, you could have 50 in the morning, 50 afternoon, and it'd still be like 100.
True.
So it's not a
You could
limit,
offer
but
different
it's,
activities at different times of the day too. Like you could have, at one time you could have something for the littles, and then you have a junior class happening, and then you have, I mean, you could have multiple kind of spread out, but you could also do it
Right.
throughout the day too. You might be able to, if you're only doing it one day a week, maybe you're offering a class in the morning and one in the afternoon. It's the same class, but 2 different times.
5
Spread
minutes.
some of that out.
5 minutes?
And like you say, like you could have a toddler class going on here, but then a field trip for older ones that are not using the building. Or somewhere else, having
So-
an art class or whatever.
so as a parent, like if you have kids different ages, you have to attend at least, like you don't drop them off, but you might not be with you, one of your kids, if there's different stuff going on.
Well, and you could offer, a coffee Wi-Fi
Yeah.
for at that time while
True.
parents are here sitting. You could also have it be one of those, like you were talking about, the support thing. You could also have a facilitated meeting that's happening with parents. Hey, what's working for you guys? You could have some of that kind of brainstorming stuff happening, or somebody available to answer questions
Yeah.
for
Well,
parents.
I'm gonna keep all this so that we can keep referencing it, because I think we're gonna be able to use quite a bit of stuff off of here to help us. So, I mean, this is just getting us started for the next meeting. I'm figuring on a Sunday after services or after even potluck, if you guys are available for that. The next potluck is on the 19th. I don't think we're gonna do this tomorrow, because I'm not gonna have time, and you guys aren't gonna have time
No.
to research that. Yeah, to do any research. So, October 19th is our next potluck Sunday, if you wanna do it then. I don't know if after potluck works, or would you rather do it like on the, well, the 12th? That's,
When are we gonna
That's the
be
day
in?
That's
after the
the teen.
ladies' day, I wanna say no.
oh, okay, 19th?
No,
No,
the
the
12th.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So 19th.
Okay, well, I think that's also the teen thing too, so.
We're not doing a team thing
When are we gonna be?
because of the ladies, that's true.
Oh, okay. So, do you want it to be at the 19th after potluck?
Well,
Oh, if people are at Linder Road, they won't be here.
Yeah.
oh yeah. Are they?
Or you guys going to Linder Road?
Well, we can do the
Okay.
12th. That's fine.
Yeah, we can do the 12th.
Yeah,
We
you
won't
guys,
be
your
doing
ladies'
too
day,
long.
you shouldn't be that
Tired.
No, because originally we were gonna have like meal
Wired out, or,
pollard and all of that
hired
kind of
out.
Yeah.
stuff. That's why
You're
we're
right,
like,
there we
no,
go.
let's keep it.
Okay,
the
so let's
12th?
do it the 12th of October.
Okay, for this one, okay.
Yes.
So are we gonna do lunch first?
We'll
Or
be
how are we
home.
gonna do that? Are we
Okay,
bringing
I'm not
lunch
gonna be
or-
here, just a heads up.
Oh, where you gonna be?
Why'd you say something earlier?
Yes.
Well, she ain't gonna be here the week after either, right?
Wait, are you
Yeah.
gonna be gone
Yeah.
for?
My
Dr. Vaughn?
daughter's turning 40, and so we're gonna be.
Are you going all out?
No, they are. But then Cheyenne's turning, her birthday's on the 13th, so, you know, we got something
Well, I
both
mean,
days.
in October, we also have the 26th.
Are you guys coming back?
Are you guys coming back?
Yeah, after
Oh,
that,
After
yeah.
Linder Road?
That's the only time, I'm just saying, you don't have to
We
do
could
everything
We
around.
could do the
No.
5th, I mean, that's the other option.
No, we're not
Is
gonna
that
be
gonna
here
give us
then
enough
either.
time?
In their ladies planning meeting on the.
We're gone all October, you're not even gonna be here for my birthday?
When's your birthday?
The 3rd, that's the day you're leaving.
We're leaving on the 3rd. That
I
was my
know.
mother-in-law's birthday.
So maybe the 26th then?
Would you rather do the 26th?
Yeah,
Does that sound better?
Wow.
Okay, let's do the
We're gonna
26th.
have to celebrate.
So what do you, do you
26
have any ideas
after.
on what you're like passionate about or what you wanna do or like
Okay.
any of this, like, did you have any?
So that will give us plenty of time to do any research, come up with anything. I'll try to get all this stuff and I'll put it in email, so I need to get everybody's email. I guess probably is what I'll have to do. We have everybody's email. I can email you what we have up here, and I'll also have these, I'll get these typed up and put in there too, what was on each of these, so.
And we should send an email out to ask people to join our group.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna recruit people, like, no, you're just coming to our group, you don't get a choice.
Oh, I like that. That gets them.
By the way, I looked up Trailblazers and it's really not called Trailblazers, it's called Trail Life.
Trail life.
Trailblazers, if you look it up on the internet,
Is it 2 words or
basketball.
1 word? Is it 1 word or 2 words?
2 words.
2 words, okay.
Basketball team.
There's no trailblazers, huh?
There's a chapter just south of you we looked up. When the name, was it when you and I looked up where the chapter is, there's one south of you.
Not me.
I forget
Trail
what it
Life.
was.
Must be.
If you look up
Coeur
Trail
d'Alene.
Life and put in your zip code, there's one that's about 50 miles away you could learn from.
In Coeur d'Alene,
Coeur
yeah.
d'Alene, yeah.
That wasn't the name, but, you know,
Well, yeah, probably.
Post Falls.
I don't know, I don't remember.
Oh.
But I'm just saying it's,
I'm on the.
50 miles away south of us, that would be Coeur d'Alene from here.
okay, all right, I'm wrong.
You don't need
No, it could be called something else.
No, just the fact that there's not one here
Yeah.
is the good news.
It's
Could be
free.
Hayden
Okay, so
possibly
there's
too,
not
right?
one here.
There's not one here is the good news.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would be if it was already set up, but you can be the host church for it. They look for a church to be the host.
And it's really outlined for you. It's so nice.
Very prescriptive.
It doesn't.
And it's basically just like the Boy Scouts was, wasn't it?
Exactly, they get
Yeah, that's what I
badges,
thought.
they work their way up through the.
Christian.
All right, we're gonna hit the bell for everybody.
All right, so
Where's
it's
Legion
just
of Honors?
inside the booth. You'll see the little white thing, it says class bell, I think, on it.
Oh, there's one up in
It's-
Bonner's.
Or the,
Now I know where the bell is. I've always wondered.
You just gave Nani power.
Oh, I never knew where the bell was.
oh,
Now we know where the button is.
She's got the ball.
Yeah. I didn't write down a paragraph.
what's that?
We,
Oh,
uh,
no.
we are going to provide a introduction to homeschooling, a toddler class, research that trail life and American heritage gals, and then work towards having a co-op day, probably Friday, where people can come and do different activities. Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good ideas for activities too, so.
Oh, and if we announce this, and asking members to tell us their talents so they could teach. Let's just say teach is a bit hard.
I know.
Mentor
Can we leave your thing
kids
up here
in
just
that
for a minute?
activity.
Sure.
An
I'm
activity
gonna wrap
for
this
those
up, we'll
kids.
get my email address.
Right there.
Yeah, you could do an
Does that
advertisement.
give you enough there?
No, but I think this is bag.
Blah, for blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be
Maybe.
willing to share?
Passion for art that you'd love to share with me.
Just 5 minutes.
I think we should ask, what are you good at first? And then say, would you wanna do it for the kids?
Excited to hear your, oh, we're not. The spirit, no, yes. So then, was it pretty good even split down there? Yeah, actually, it was pretty, we might have had a couple more people, but it was pretty even. How many do you guys have? Oh, we should write down who's in the group.
Oh, yeah.
so regularly that I would learn to check myself. It's on the back burner. Was it the back burner?
No, it was the
I mean, it's great for me because I'm fixing them in school.
Yeah, we left out big chunks of it. That's why I suggest with the pop tops and stuff.
Yeah. Set it and forget it.
Well, you'll be in Indonesia.
Much safer.
Homeschooling, yeah, so he'll be free when he's back.
All right, you guys coming up?
Like, no one would know. As the parent, you just make one. I can just make a diploma for my kids.
Yeah, my mom for sure.
Yep, looks very official.
What if a parent who's never told me anything?
I guess. Okay. You guys all walking up? Okay, guys.
We're coming.
Okay, you guys coming?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, guys, let's go.
We're too excited.
Good. All right. All right, so let's give me some feedback. How were the meetings?
Great, good.
So how about the goal leaders? Did you feel good about your meeting?
Yes. Yeah.
Timothy? How'd you feel about the meeting? All right, how about, okay, let's get back together. How about the rest of you that were in the meetings? How'd you feel about your goal leaders and the meetings? You feel productive?
Yes.
Everybody felt productive? Okay. Well, that's off to a great start. You all seem like you were very engaged. I want to just take a second to, one of the benefits of this, two benefits. One is just helping us all learn leadership too. So the goal leaders are going to learn how to coordinate. And it's one thing to be a boss in a workplace. It's a whole other thing to be a leader in a volunteer organization where people, you're working through influence. You're trying to gain and get people engaged. So the goal leaders clearly are going to learn some leadership. Also, what I hope happens, and Timothy left his up here, but they've all agreed to certain actions that they're going to report out on at their next meeting. And ideally, say, I'll just pick Tom, if he's going to work on Trail Life, maybe Tom will grab 2 or 3 people that weren't here and form a little team. And then Tom will get some leadership experience. I'm not saying any of you need it, but I'm just saying you get leadership experience on forming your team. And maybe Tom could even delegate to somebody else, and then they come to the meeting. So you recruit people that aren't here to be part of this. So not only do you get leadership experience, then you also get experience for engagement. Engagement from a broader number of the congregation. So do you see the benefits, or am I making this up? Do you see the benefits in leadership and engagement? And before you know it, you've got 30, 40 people working in each group. You could have 70, 80, if you really get this engaged. This guest experience thing you're talking about could be a large number of people. So, okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I want to just wrap up. So I really want to just emphasize communication. As you start to find other people to get involved in this work, don't forget, these are the goals you picked. If you're working on something that isn't fitting one of these goals, you got to ask yourself why you're working on it. And if you need to redeploy, toward this work, try to get your fellow members to get really behind these goals. As you do that, you need to communicate. Please communicate what you did here today and last night with other people. Communication, I put this up here because it seems like it's another misunderstood concept. Communication is a process by which information is exchanged. Okay? Now, is a bulletin announcement communication?
Yeah. It's one way.
Well, this says a process by which information is exchanged. Is there information exchanged in a bulletin announcement?
Well, it's one way.
There's no exchange.
Oh, you need to, okay.
How about an email? I had a big debate with there's one congregation that's full of techie people. I forget where this was. And they told me they know people read their email because they get a red receipt. That it was read. I said, that just means they opened and deleted it. No. So anyway, how about think about things that you could say an email could be communication if there's a true exchange, but it's not a very good exchange because you really don't understand context. I'm encouraging you. You and I are communicating right now because I can see by your verbal expression if I'm making any sense or not. Okay? That's what I'm looking for you. On these projects, these initiatives, communicate with people and don't rely on just a bulletin announcement or is an announcement from the pulpit information or communication? Information. We think somehow that it's communication. And Lisa and I, we've probably been to, 20 congregations this year, different ones. The people that are making the announcements thinks people are listening, but they're not. We see it. We see it. You got to find some way to communicate with people, please. Yes?
Right at the end, we realized that we were setting up dates and stuff, and we don't know if the other two groups were setting up the same dates for different things.
Yeah, and that's why they need to communicate. I was just challenging you to make sure you set a date so you keep meetings going. I think those dates you set are flexible. You can communicate, but this group picked the 26th. I think it's probably smart to do it around a worship or other service, a Wednesday night, after a potluck they talked about here. So I think you could have them all at the same time, but they don't have to be. I think that's clearly up to you, and the goal leaders can decide. Do you have a thought?
Well, the barbecue, we were gonna do a community barbecue
On?
This October 24th.
Oh, great. Fantastic. So is that in conflict with anything?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, well, that's what you'll find out, right? But no, that sounds awesome. Think about how quickly you're moving to already have something like that set up. Did you have something like that normally you do? Or?
No.
Wow, you're moving fast. Congratulations. You're moving fast. But the next meetings, you could decide we all want to meet at we want to take our Wednesday night and focus on these goals, or we want to attach it to a potluck, or Sunday, this could be your small groups. Congregations go to small groups. You could decide to evolve these into your small groups, and you start to draw more people in from congregation. This is your vision, your goals. I just want to support it. And my email address is up here. Anything we could do, Lisa, that I could ever do, we'd love to help you. Yeah.
You might have already said this, but I know we had some ideas in our group, our spiritual growth group, of doing something very different in the future. That I feel like it's definitely a Marty involved thing as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
You were talking about going to small groups and stuff. I heard you talk about. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I would encourage whoever agreed to explore that to write a paragraph about what you envision and circulate that among this group to get early feedback. And that's what I would recommend. And get feedback and see if the group's up for changing it. I'm telling you, if you will do small groups and invite your neighbors to be part of it in a non-threatening way, you'd be surprised what impact you'll have in your community.
So is that a spiritual growth or an evangelism event?
What's evangelism?
Well, the growing.
There's a 200-member thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know. That's what something it feels like both.
Yeah.
But that's where the goal leaders, almost at the highest level, everything we're doing serving God. So everything has overlap. It's just a question of make sure you're communicating so you're not inefficient. It'd be inefficient for you be drafting a paragraph and then Marty's team drafting a paragraph to describe it, you know? So just figure out which one you want to assign it to. Do you need to talk about that now or do you want to talk about it offline? Where do you think it fits? Offline? You want to talk about it now?
Oh, that's not for me to say.
Oh.
That would be, that guy.
Rich or? No, Rich is the...
Rich is the leader.
But Rich and Marty are sitting on the same row. They could very quickly talk about it afterwards.
But it's something that, you know, needs the input from the whole group as well.
Well, one of you need to take the lead, in my opinion, and draft what you envision it be, and then share it with the broader group. But, you know, again, there's something magical about writing words on paper. People have to have thought out something. Too many times somebody just blurts out something, we want to change this, and they really haven't thought it out. Write some words down, decide which group's going to take ownership of it to go around and get feedback, and then get feedback. But please, above all, don't waste this day and a half of your life by not doing something with this stuff. This is what you're called to do, I believe, because you did the work to set goals. Okay, yes?
For whoever's doing that, in Washington, when we switched to life group, we call them life groups, but when we switched to that, our participation skyrocketed. We went from hardly having anyone that came on Wednesday nights to the building to very large home groups.
Yeah, I've seen it go both ways. Some people use it as an excuse just not to come to the building.
And that's what we were afraid of.
And some people, though, will rally behind it. Do you think God, Jesus, our Savior, do you think He envisioned this being an hour-a-week lifestyle? I just don't think so. And I think you need more than an hour a week together, whether it's in small groups or you can duplicate the church home settings they did in the first century. But I think we're called to make this more than an hour or two a week of our life. And that's what we're asking for you to do here in this work. This life group thing, whatever you want to call them, it can be very powerful, particularly if you're using it to invite your friends and neighbors. Okay, I just want to leave you, as we're all servants now, right? We're all talking about doing work on behalf of this congregation. Lisa and I have done this enough. I can see people's eyes. They go through phases thinking about being a servant. Most of you, when you got here, you probably didn't know what to expect with the workshop. Did you? I mean, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But you came in probably saying, I'm not sure what to do. And then pretty quickly you came up with goals. That's your what you should do. And then probably last night you're going, well, I don't know how we're going to do that. Right? And then today you said, oh, I know how to do it. You know, we get the Trail Life and we get the Toastmaster and we get the figure out how to build a co-op. I mean, now you know how. Okay, so then the question becomes, and we see people go through this, I'm not sure I can really do all this. Now, praise God, most of the people we work with go through that phase in a heartbeat because they're committed and they say, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Please don't get stuck in that third phase. I'm not sure I can do it. If you get stuck there, you will have wasted a day of your life through this workshop. Please pass through that and say, I'm going to do what it takes because these are the goals for this congregation. That's my appeal to you. And that's really the end of the workshop, right at 3 o'clock. So any comments or parting thoughts? A little too obnoxious about the communication?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that we're already doing, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it would be wise to look at the things that we're doing, say like as the group leaders maybe,
Absolutely.
look at the things that we're doing and see if maybe the group leader's involved in something that is not within their sphere anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then that would be surrendered over to the other group to do with what they would want.
Absolutely. Do you have an inventory of the things you have underway? Write it down. Look at your calendar. Right? If you don't have an inventory of what you're doing now, I don't know how you can actually make those kind of informed decisions. get an inventory of what you're doing now, is my advice. And then you would say, okay, well, wow, that fits under Rich's team. Rich, do you want to keep that going or not? You might look at things that are under your team. You go, yeah, we want to keep this one, but not that one. Again, our brotherhood has full of initiatives and programs that somebody started 100 years ago and they don't know why. 60 years, they don't even know why. And so, I mean, one congregation, they won't change the curtains because somebody's great grandmother made them like 70 years ago. They've been changed for.
You saying something about our curtains?
No, I'm saying something about the church I know of. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so this is a chance at a fresh start too, a fresh look at what you ought to be doing. And one caution I will give you though, and I didn't work with these, but even before I started doing this work, I know of a couple of congregations that they had a meeting like this, and something that was important to somebody, they decided they would stop, and didn't really involve the person doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to stop something, or you think something's not really adding, or it belongs under one of the goals, engage that person that's doing it, or that's the believer in it, or the leader. Don't leave anybody behind. Take people along with you on this. That I have one congregation I didn't work with, but somebody I know worked before. All the deacons resigned after they redid a thing like this because they divvied up the work and didn't involve the deacons in the work. So just don't do that kind of thing. We're here to lift people up, get more engagement, not less. Okay? All right. Yes?
I think the only thing I would add is be transparent in all this.
Yes.
My experience in the past is we've got to be so transparent that we're not doing this within a bubble, and we're open to everybody to be involved.
Yep. That's why I'm hitting communication so hard. It can't just be left to chance, because sometimes you think you're being transparent, but if you made it transparent in a bulletin announcement and people didn't read it, how transparent were you? Going to have to do it. And I was going to skip this, but this is probably, since you bring this up, transparent, this is pretty important. For 100 years now, people have had concepts and new products, and they've studied, how do you get a new product off the ground? And the answer is, if you can get about 20% of any part of a group behind an idea or a product, it's suddenly, you get the early majority and then it takes off. You need about 20% of the people really working hard to get an idea off the ground. And once you get that 20% fully committed, it just seems to take off. So that's the idea about being transparent, so everybody knows what you're doing, and then you'll find that you'll get that 20, 30, 40%, and it'll just start rolling downhill. Yeah.
Can I add something to, like, just I'm sensing, and I might be sensing it incorrectly, that worried about canceling something else that's going on that's not going towards this. There was also another church where there were like a group of 5 or 7 women, had a knitting club, and they knitted at the church. It wasn't that they couldn't keep doing the knitting club. Resources weren't going towards the knitting club. It wasn't taking away from anything else. So you might have some of these things that it doesn't affect anything, and it still keeps those women very, in this case, these women who came together. It really did fit in a goal. They were Christian women together knitting. So like, don't also think about it that way too. It's not that you're axing everything else in the universe. It's just if the resources and money and time should be going towards your new goals.
Yeah. And hear me, please, I don't want to miscommunicate. When I'm saying if there's something you've got going as an initiative that's not part of fitting into these goals, I didn't say stop it. I said think about, is it something you should be continuing? Right? And the answer more likely probably is not, if it doesn't fit anything. But think about it.
Another thing, my organizational skills and stuff from my private sector, from the government, you got to build a budget related to your goals and stuff. You can't continue to spread yourself so thin. You got to focus on your funds, on your goals.
Yeah, and I'm hoping as each of you continue to have your goal team meetings, you'll start to flush out, here's what our financial needs are. and see if you can meet it. And then you'll have to make some tough decisions about which one of these 3 goals. Maybe you won't, but you might have to make some tough decisions about which ones are the highest priority, because everything has some type of cost. You know, thankfully a lot of it's just our time. But I want you to have a mindset, this is how we live. We're living for Jesus, not this is all extra work for Jesus or something. You know, this is how we live. This is just how we're gonna behave. So, okay, any other thoughts or comments before we wrap up? Okay, would somebody close us with prayer?
Let's pray. Father, we just thank you so much for your love for us and your invitation for us to be a part of your kingdom and your body, and the time we've had this weekend to be together. And we're so thankful for each and every person that's here, and also that serves in this church and in this body, and their faith and their love and their trust in you and your plan and your will for us and this church and the world. And help us to focus on these things we've discussed and we kind of set forth to going forward, and to communicate them effectively, and always remember why we're doing it, so that we can glorify you and grow your kingdom. And help us to just be humble and loving in all we